decided to record a short video today just to talk a little bit on astrology. Because I think there are a lot of misconceptions as well as a lot of different school of thoughts as to what astrology is and how it is used. So I just want to touch on my views. So yeah, we'll get it started. But before that, I just want to show you my plants. I decided that they should be the backdrop today. So tell me if you like them. Okay. So I will first talk about what I think, and I will touch on how I use it with a personal example in my life. And I hope that this short talk will be able to clear some of your doubts regarding what astrology is and also its accuracy. So the most common viewpoint or the very societal definition of astrology is that is to categorize people based on their sun signs. I'm sure all of you can relate to that, where people say, oh, you are Virgo, I'm sure you are very particular and have perfectionism and things like that. Or if you are Pisces, you must be all dreamy and emotional, etc. So those are not wrong essentially, but that is just a very small aspect of astrology, because in astrology we don't only look at sun signs, but there are like many other more planets as well as asteroids that we will so how do I say this? It's too many things, too many layers, too many ways to view it, with different angles as well, to really explain it now. But then I would say that our common societal views of astrology is very surface, very generalized knowledge of what this deep ancient wisdom is. So besides categorizing people based on sun signs, another common usage is to try to predict something with astrology. For example, marriages or new relationships or change of career, things like that. That is a branch of astrology. It's called predictive astrology. But again, that shouldn't be the focus or the one and only aim of using astrology. So before I talk about my view, I want to ask you guys to first release the common societal viewpoints that I mentioned just now for a moment, just so that we can open our minds a little bit more, okay? So I see astrology as a tool for self-discovery, essentially to help you to know who you are. This sounds like a very cliche question to ask, who am I? But your true identity, or I would call it the truth of your soul, it's never straightforward. It's never straightforward, and it's because throughout our life experience from childhood until the current point, we receive a lot of information from others, parents, teachers, society, media, peers, friends. This information tend to tell us who we should be, so who we have to be, who who we are. So it's like an expectation or a reflection of who we are, instead of the possibilities of who we can be. So it's a narrow view, but not an expanded view. So it's like this. So therefore, our personality as an adult is essentially adaptation mask. So they are masks that we put on of who we feel we should be from after getting information and education from others. So we think we should behave this way. So we put on mask, and especially the mask is especially important when we are among others, in front of others. So I'm sure you can relate to this if you ever feel lost in life, lost in direction, or when you feel extremely exhausted when interacting with others. You will know what I mean, because putting on a mask is exhausting. So before we can uncover our mask to see what's the true face inside, so maybe if you don't want to think of it as mask, you can think of it as a pearl inside a bud or a closed flower. So to open up the petals one by one to see what's the actual pearl, what's the size, how does it glitter, what's the shine, what's the color, what's the shape. So before you even reach the pearl, you have to open the layers up first. So before you can uncover the petals or remove the mask, you don't truly know who you are. And this is often why people cannot relate to their astrological interpretations, because they find it totally different from who they think they are. So my personality is not this way. Why do they say I'm like that, you know? So I just want to tell you an example in my personal life. So my astrological chart has a very emphasized Leo. So I have 4 planets in Leo: the Sun, the Venus, the Mercury, and the Mars. So Leo is a fire sign, passionate, hot-headed, strong-headed, creative, determined as well, childlike, open-hearted. So these are like some general characteristics of who Leo is. So with such an emphasized Leo, you would expect that I'm very Leo-like, right? But actually I couldn't relate to that when I first found out that I have such a natal chart, because I grew up with a very enmeshed childhood, where my parents essentially tell me they try to control my life. So my sense of self, my sense of identity, my true desires, or I don't have a clear idea of who I am and what I actually want to do, because I am used to be told what decision I should make. So that's enmeshment. Another thing is that I'm very sensitive to other people's emotions. I can sense them easily, and I don't want to upset people. So what I usually do is to follow what I feel they want me to do, so to avoid conflict. So with the enmeshment and also the sensitivity to other people's emotion, it's almost impossible to be the loud or emphasized or strong or fiery Leo that I should be. So it's totally like I couldn't relate to the Leoness at all. Because I was like, no, astrology sounds like bullshit. um, so it intensified my doubts towards astrology because I really couldn't relate to it. Um, and what's interesting is when I get tarot readings as well, I keep getting Leo emphasis cards. So the tarot readers that I go to will pull me cards like Strength, Queen of Wands, the Sun, and say, okay, you're very fiery. And I was like, how? So, but when I trace back to my childhood memories, I actually can sometimes relate to some of the Leo characteristics. So I was determined, stubborn, hot-headed, adventurous, very creative as a kid, and very strong-willed. So not that easy to manage, I would say, from my parents' perspective. So after working on getting in touch with my inner child, my inner self, again working on the uncovering slowly, I realized that the enmeshed childhood has put on a lot of layers on my true self. So if there are so many rules and regulations, have to's, should be, what a good person or a good girl should be, then my true self can hardly shine because it's almost impossible to shine. I have to dim it so that I can be safe. I don't get scolded or I don't get excluded or judged or things like that. So excuse me. So I did a sketch a bit earlier, but I couldn't find it right now to show to you. But it's in one of my Instagram posts where imagine the soul, your soul's current, your soul's purpose or your soul's energy as a river, as a current. If this is your soul and you're flowing this way, but your physical self is going in opposition. So you can see it's like you are swimming upstream towards your soul stream. So there's a conflict of energy. So when you are not aligning with your soul stream but going against it, it's very easy to not recognize your soul at all, obviously, right? So it's very hard to recognize who you actually are or who your soul actually is, or what is your soul's desire, what your soul's desire is. So there are many ways to get back in touch to your self-identity or your soul's purpose, your soul's truth, and astrology is one of it, based on the example I gave just now. So astrology tells you who you are at your core. And of course, it's up to you to work on questioning it or try to relate back to it. Ask, how am I like that in different stages of life, and then eventually find your authentic expression of that soul's truth. Astrology also tell you about the challenges. that you're supposed to face and learn in this current life as a evolution path of your soul. So again, it's up to you to relate to it. So think back to all the difficulties you have faced in your life so far, and question it. So in what way I have to take responsibility in these difficulties? In what way that's not my responsibility, for example, and then work on stepping up to the game. So that's all of my notes actually. So yeah, I hope I clear some of your doubts regarding astrology and manage to answer some of the questions. Feel free to ask, comment below and ask more questions, and I will try to address them in the future. And I offer astrological readings, chart readings, and they will be delivered in text format. Please check out my service tab or my website to know more information. And I'm currently running a giveaway, so if you want to know about your astrological chart, or so your astrological chart, you want to try it out, feel free to join the party. So it will be closing on Saturday. So check out my previous posts about how to participate. So it's easy, and I will just randomly pick one person to give this free gift to you. And oh yeah, before we end, I just want to get one advice card for everyone who would watch this video. So with the intention of what's the advice that all of us here would watch this video currently or in the future needs to hear. So just one card. And I'm using the Work Your Life Oracle. Really love this one. Get one card. Okay. Two keeps coming out, so just want one, please. Again, it's two. Let me try to center myself. I guess I'm a bit nervous. Card for the collective. I love this card so. Is it focusing? The Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits soul tribe. So it's about connecting to people who are your tribe, your soul tribe. So I think it is an advice, but it's also an indication that we are part of the soul tribe. So maybe we can relate to each other in many different aspects. So yeah. Alright. I'll see you soon. Bye.